Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is combo number 2. I'm Tom Flores,
I'm Travis Baker.
and today we'll be talking about,
I can't come up with a funny title for this movie, just The Lobster.
and honestly, it was definitely, this is a sleeper hit. Like, I know not a lot of people know about this, but it's really a great,
Yeah.
it's a date movie.
Another indie film from the distributing company A24. It's one of them. It's actually one of those dystopian. I guess you could say, dystopian fiction films where, but this of the subtler kind.
Yeah, because you were telling me, Travis, that it's not focusing on the whole dystopian society, just one aspect of it.
That's the thing that makes this dystopia. Just one social aspect in which everyone has to be married.
And you have to be married to a person where you share one similar trait, but it's a very big one.
Yes, you have to share one similar trait. It has to be a big one.
And it seems like it's a physical thing. It's a physical, not a mental thing, but it's a physical.
It's very superficial.
Yeah.
A very superficial trait.
But like by physical though,
Yeah.
I meant like you both have random nosebleeds. You both are nearsighted or farsighted. You both can't hear in your left ear. You both have a limp.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be that superficial, but a physical as well.
Yeah, and then this facility or this hotel. This
facility. That's a hotel. A very nice hotel.
Yes.
It's very nice, quaint.
That the first half of this movie takes place in is the idea is that they go there, I guess, to be grouped up with a bunch of single people. And the idea is that you stay there for a certain number of days, and if you don't find a spouse in time, you will be turned into an animal.
I believe it was 45 or 49 days you had at the facility.
And you can alleviate that because then they do this thing. And there's some weird stuff that happens in this movie. They do this thing every day or so where they go out with tranquilizer guns, and they go out into the forest outside the hotel, and they hunt. I want to call them wildlings, but that's like a Game of Thrones term.
I think it's like people who just said, screw it, we're not going to be a part of this. And so they left society.
Because they wanted to be single.
And
they didn't want to conform to the institution of marriage.
Or they just failed at it.
It too.
And so, because they know if they get caught, they'll be either turned into an animal or put back in the facility. So these are people who just said, screw society.
Yeah.
But the hotel makes the people who are sent to this facility go out randomly, either at night or in the morning or during the day, to go hunt them down, and they get killed. I think some get passed out from the tranquilizers, but the tranquilizers also too they'll have an electric shock. I saw when I hit the tree, I saw a spark, so I was like, okay, but you can kill them. Like as we saw one girl beating the crap out of one, and every person you kill adds another day to your stay. So even though you have 45 days, you can end up getting added on another 100.
Yeah.
Because one girl, as we saw...
This is the one that had like no emotion at all.
She's been there. She has a total of 159 days added on. I mean, not added on total, that she can stay from her original 49. So she's been hunting so much that she's acquired so many days where she could live there forever. And it seems like there's no limit. Like you could actually there's a way to break the system where you can stay there forever, and it's a nice place. You get a nice breakfast every morning.
Mm-hmm.
You get a chance to try to hook up with someone. You get a nice room. Those rooms are freaking amazingly beautiful.
Yeah,
and you get fun random movie night, dance night, dinners, and it's weird because there's some weird stuff going down. Like every morning, the waitress or one of the maids will have the guy lay down on his back and she'll grind on him to help him get an erection, so it'll better his chances of getting a woman because it'll stimulate something in his mind.
Oh, I thought it was just like she was like masturbating.
No. She was grinding on him so that his getting an erection and getting one faster will increase his chance of being like, I want a woman.
That was really strange, and of course this happens to our main character, and he's like, wait, I'm not done yet. That's all for today. And he's like, oh, not fair.
Yeah, it's a real... and you can't masturbate, though, this facility.
You're not allowed to masturbate.
Because if you do, you get your hands shoved into a toaster. This movie's it's odd. It's a weird,
They
odd
promote
movie,
blue
but
balls.
it's so funny
Yes.
because of how they
It's so bizarre.
and it's dry. It's a dry, dark comedy.
All the way down to the dialogue.
No, all the way down to the credits. It's that
Yes,
the opening
credits.
and end credits.
Oh, the credits
dry.
are so great.
But yeah, because the dialogue is set in such a dry, deadpan, like you're just reading off a sheet for a morning announcement. It's
Yes.
just, and it's hilarious.
All the dialogue sounds typed, but they don't actually sound like... They sound typed like as if you were in a chat or you're writing an email. But they don't sound like the person, the writers, because there's two of them. One of them's the director. I don't even know how to pronounce the director's name. But
And this is all from Ireland. I was remembering looking
Yeah.
at the credits, and then what people were saying, like, "Oh, this is in Ireland. This is from all Ireland." Like, damn, this is really from Ireland.
yeah, so it's kind of a foreign film.
Yeah, and
Not in
Colin
the foreign language sort of way.
and Colin Farrell and Rachel Weisz and John C. Reilly are really good. Like, it's Colin Farrell. It's interesting to see Colin Farrell is fat. Like, it's the first time I can think.
He
of
has a
Colin.
bit of a gut.
He's a big gut, and the way he's talking and the glasses and like, and it's just it's more of the setup and the situation of it all. It's just funny. Like your first day there, every person has a belt. I guess get a chastity belt put on them, but it's where their arm is locked in place, so they can only use one arm to show how hard it is to be by yourself and not have someone else to help you. 2 hands are better than one.
Okay.
2 heads, better like that, and he's just there, and you see other people are stuck like that. So he's trying to get his pants off, and they're stuck to his arm. So he's just like, he's trying to brush his teeth, eat, and spread jam on toast. It's just very funny.
And the way everyone talks in this society, I was getting back to the point of the writers. It sounds like they typed it, but the writers didn't speak it out loud. Because normally when you're writing a screenplay, sometimes you'd like to say the dialogue out loud to your head.
Yeah.
To see if it makes sense. To see if you want an actual person
If you yourself would say
to
this
recite
naturally,
this.
yeah.
Because I've seen many movies in which the dialogue is so fucking awful. And I feel so bad because sometimes it's like a good actor on screen, but the dialogue is written so horribly that I figured, did no one read this out loud? But this movie, it's done on purpose. Granted, it's not awful, and I think it's because it's done on purpose to kind of give this sense of emotional detachment from everything. Because, like you said, the way they're connected, it's not on an internal level. The way society says, no, it has to be something very superficial.
And it's superficial or physical and or one of the two. Because even when they're talking about one girl, oh, she's a nice girl because she has a nice pair of tits. Even though this one girl's devoid of emotion, she has a great set of boobs. And she's got a nice body. That woman who's devoid of all emotion, who's basically a freaking sociopath, is a good-looking woman.
Yeah.
And the one who's full of emotion is an ugly one.
Ah.
Yeah, it's all physical, and it showed. And it's
very physical.
Maybe it was typed that way because like you're not saying this out loud because it's made people like, hey, you're not thinking this out loud when you look at this person. And like, oh my god, they're amazing.
I didn't know.
But look at this. Think out loud. Talk to someone about like say how this person is. The person's quality is out loud before you go like, let's get married. Maybe that's it.
That sounds about it. I mean, it definitely feels like someone was trying to make some commentary on the institution of marriage and the idea of relationships and how we view them.
Yeah, and it's basically to say like, hey guys, opposites actually do attract, and it helps to be opposites in a lot of things.
They set that up in the beginning when he's talking to the lady who owns the hotel, saying a penguin cannot be with a wolf.
That would just be silly.
That would just be silly. I would like to be a lobster. A lobster is an excellent choice. And just...
Hopefully you don't... I'm glad you didn't
say
say dog, because that's... Everyone says dogs. That's why there's a lot of dogs around. What? It's like, it's just funny. It's great, but it's like, it's true. It really was a big social commentary on not only how it is nowadays, but how how people have always viewed coupling. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be just because, oh, it's this or that's. Like, no. You can it's like a few things you want to share. Like, oh, we both love reading. We both like to go on walks. We both are We both think Tom Hanks is the best actor in the world. But everything else can be different. You can both be one Democrat, one Republican, one Jewish, one Christian, one I hate cats, I love dogs. I think video games are a waste of time. I think they're just fun. Like, you can have some things where you definitely disagree on, but that doesn't matter. You're supposed to not like everything. Yeah. You're supposed to like a couple things together. Like, first, yes, as the relationship goes on, you'll find out, oh, we actually enjoy fishing together. Okay, but at the beginning, though, the only thing we liked doing together was movies and going to the shooting range. Just two things. And
if anything, this is a society that promotes. Because I'm starting to think more of this. This is a movie that gets you thinking a lot.
Yeah,
and
that's why, this is a great date movie. This is a really good date movie. Not for like a first date, but like 2 months in a relationship, all the way up to we've been together since the 50s. This is a great date movie.
Yeah, because it helps you appreciate your relationship a lot better.
Good outlook.
Hopefully it doesn't make you realize why your relationship is not working.
If so, maybe better late than never.
Yeah. Otherwise, then it's going to be a bad date.
Yeah, but no, it really makes you think and see it's supposed to be opposites attract. One of you should be quirky and weird and odd. Mm-hmm. Because that's how it brings out the weird quirkiness in the other person. It's like how we said in the last film, like how buddy comedy works. One person has to be reserved. One person does not. You need the very emotional and the reserved. That's how it works. And that's what it's about. Relationship.
Have differences.
And in a relationship, one person needs to be the stoic, just reserved, and the other one needs to be the full of life and emotion. Mm-hmm. That's how it always works. Opposites attract, yin and yang.
I like how it's interesting how the animal thing. You just accept that they know how to turn people into animals.
Yeah.
They don't show the process.
It just says transformation room.
Yeah.
Like a Monty Python skit.
That's kind of the close. That's like the most artsy it gets. What's the punishment? Turn into animals. Mm-hmm. Why? Because
get a second chance of getting laid.
You get a second chance of getting laid or getting killed.
I like how that one girl with very nice hair, she got turned into a pony to keep her nice hair. And you see a lot of the animals, people who turn into animals in the background. There's a camel walking in the forest. A freaking camel.
Yeah, what's a camel doing there?
In the rain, it looks like a rainforest. So like the
fuck is he doing there?
Yeah. So it's a really funny, great movie. The acting's well done. It's not a happy one. Like you'll laugh at what's going on. You will laugh.
A lot of dark humor.
But it's dry. There's no happy ending. No silver lining. It's just a dry, bleak, black comedy because it's what they do is funny. Mm-hmm. What they say is funny. Like, you wonder why all the targets are single people and never couples. That was great. That was great. Or these people are now put together and will live together, and if it doesn't work out, we'll provide them children. That usually works. How much do you love her? Out of 1 to 15. 14. 14 is a very acceptable number.
40.
It's just hilarious.
14 is a very acceptable number. Then he goes on to say, and then she asks, could you live without her? And he thinks it through. Like, he thinks logistically, could he live without her? And he says, yes, I could live without her.
She can't. I can't.
She can't. I can.
And it's great. And one guy goes to one desperate measures to basically break his nose on a daily basis just to have chronic nosebleeds like the other girl, just
because he likes this one girl. And
it's not for any reason. Not because he doesn't know her. It's just she's just cute and she has a nice swimsuit on. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And
they get married. And then later on...
Provided a kid.
They were provided a kid. They're like, uh-oh. Wonder how stable this relationship was.
Yeah. So, really, this movie is a great social commentary on how we view relationships on a coupling. It's coupling on a stereotypical level because it can't... It shouldn't. You have to know the person first. Yeah. It should not... Yes... looks are great. For a girl to have a guy with a 10-pack, great head of hair, that's a plus.
This is a movie
for a guy to fall for a girl who has a very great, what's the perfect measurements? They say it's like 32, 22, 32, something like that. Mm-hmm. But it's not about the looks because the looks go away quickly.
This is a movie you can show to someone who's totally enveloped in what is called shipping culture. When you're watching a TV show and you're like, oh, those two characters are cute together. I ship them, but it usually it doesn't go anywhere further beyond that. And I've watched TV shows. Anyone who's seen on my YouTube channel my review of the 3rd season of Arrow probably gets an idea of how shipping culture actually can ruin things.
Yeah, because just because two people look cute together doesn't mean jack shit.
No.
I dealt with that at work a couple of times. Like, oh, you guys look cute. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean jack. In high school, I dealt with that. Like, oh, you guys look cute together. They're so cute together. It's like, so if you put like a freaking puppy with an baby alligator, they look cute together. Doesn't mean in like 3 months the alligator's gonna rip the shit out of them. Doesn't mean jack. Yeah, this is what it hits. That's the shipping. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why this movie needs to be recognized more. It needs to be more people need to go see this movie.
Oh, this movie's brilliant.
It deserves all the awards.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, it's really well acted with the bad acting.
Yes, because the acting, a lot of the acting
has to be bad.
In any other movie, the acting comes off bad. But and it's not saying that these are bad actors because
they're phenomenal actors.
They're great actors.
Over years, we've seen.
Yeah, these are great actors.
One of them's a Tony Award winner.
Yeah, John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
These are great actors, but in any other movie, they would look bad because of the way they have to say their lines. Thankfully, not this.
No, it fits. It does deserve a second viewing because one, the laughter not only from yourself but from the audience, you will miss things, you'll miss lines, but also to really like see it more because it's really an interesting dystopian future to watch and observe. Mm-hmm. Like reading 1984 and Brave New World, it's something to really like you want to read again to really observe and like this is an interesting culture to understand. Not
even in an external world building sort of way, just in a very emotional, very internal way of not what the world is like, but what the people of that world are like.
And like Travis said, it takes just one aspect of this whole dystopian future, and it works so well because it's not like saying we're going to talk about everything, just one thing. And I think more movies like that, just taking one aspect of a dystopian society, would work far better than just talking about the whole society and then having to make 2 more movies off.
Yeah, This is where we get to the whole, what the. Because stuff like the Hunger Games, Divergent, the Maze Runner, Hunger Games I feel like is the best example of this, but either way, it always has to end in the revolution.
A war.
The war that makes everything good again. Things are bad, but we can't end it. We can't end it on a bleak note. We got to end it with, they're rebelling. They're rebelling. They want things better. They want things to be like our world, the real world of today. But most good dystopian stories are more like Twilight Zone episodes.
Or like how 1984 ended.
That was a really loud cower outside your house.
Or like how 1984 ended.
Yeah.
And how Brave New World ends. It doesn't have to be happy. It doesn't always have to be happy endings.
Even like how The Giver ends, because even The Giver has a slightly happier ending, but it's very ambiguous.
Yeah.
And that's why I remember, I haven't seen The Giver movie, but I remember seeing trailers for The Giver movie, and here's where I go into the production design of this movie. But when I saw trailers of The Giver movie, and I saw the way things looked, it looked like, oh, Hollywood got to this movie. Everything looked like, oh yeah, this is a special society. Look at this production design. And I felt it didn't look right. Yeah. It looked like Hollywood's idea of, ooh, look, dystopian or utopian, dystopian future. Look how future things look.
And I get what you mean, because for a dystopian future, it doesn't have to be all about the set. It's about just how the people act.
And that's not how I view... And it completely contradicted what I thought of the world when I read The Giver. Because the thing about The Giver... We are really sidetracking, but we'll get back. Because the way I thought of things in The Giver, I felt there was nothing extravagant about the way things would look in that community. The community. There's nothing extravagant about the way things look. Everything would look very simple and designed for purpose. Not by appearance by purpose. Like,
Yeah.
oh, this is
honestly,
my house. This is the building. That's the school. Okay, that's all I need to know. And I felt, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you've seen that Giver movie that I haven't seen.
I've seen most of it, and I get what you mean because when one person I didn't read it, but when they described it to me, I kind of had the same view I had of Fahrenheit 451.
Okay.
It's just a simple setup.
Yeah.
Devoid of extravagance.
You shouldn't have. Yeah, it shouldn't be an opportunity for a production designer to
go ham,
to let their imagination go and be like, oh, let's see what I can do. No, it should be a time for the production designer, the set designer, to go more restrained.
Yeah.
And I liked that in this movie, the production design, like the most they ever got was that it was just a really nice hotel, but it wasn't full of.
It was quaint though.
It was quaint, yes.
Not Vegas.
Not Vegas. There wasn't.
It's like a bed and breakfast.
The architecture wasn't like Roman inspired or Greek inspired or any old classic inspiring in the architecture. It was
bed and breakfast cottage.
It looked like an old hospital when I looked at it from the exterior, but then I looked at the inside and was like, okay, this is nice.
Yeah.
Nothing too flashy, but it's nice.
Those beds look good. Beds look nice.
Beds look very nice. The light, the way things were lit were mostly kind of dim. Not to David Fincher degrees, but it was very dim lighting. Nothing looked too shiny.
Yeah.
And then when they're out in the city, it was presented more as, oh, we're just in the city.
Yeah, it looked like a mall mostly.
Yeah, it was very conventional. Airport. Nothing too drastically different. Nothing too much with the wardrobe. Everyone pretty much wore clothes.
And that's what this movie showed us, is that for a dystopian society, you don't have to go crazy full out bang. It's just probably they're going to more divert back to how people were dressed from the 40s to the 60s. That feel.
Okay.
Like just simple attire, nothing crazy.
Everyone wore the same thing in that hotel.
If you go out, it's a little more flashy, but nothing crazy still.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is, because it's just more about how we act, not what's around us. Because we don't need like crazy hairdos and outfits. We just need just regular suits and tie,
makeup, and
just,
capital.
It's like Red Foreman and Kitty from that 70s show, how they dressed every day. It's like that. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Because it really, because when they said that they even went into the detail of the wardrobe in this movie, it's 3 plain, similar blue shirts. 3 black pants, all the same.
Everyone wore the same. All the guys wore the same suits. All the girls wore the same dresses.
They were nice, but they're the same.
They were nice dresses. They were quaint.
And the only fancy dress was the manager's, but hers was a simple, fancy black dress.
Yeah.
Very simple, very nice little shine glitter, but nothing crazy. It was simple.
That, of course, I would like to think that was on purpose.
Oh,
and that it just simply helped with the budget, because I'm sure these other movies we've seen, they have the budget to do all that, so they're probably thinking, well, we have the money, let's spend it, baby. This movie is not a big studio production, as we saw in
they spent it on the bodies, not the outfits,
and the locations. But as we saw in the opening title, there's like probably 10 to 12 something production, or 10 to 12, because it was like there was 5, 6. These 6 companies present in association with this company, this company, this company, this company,
and it was
a production of da 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 da. And then when we see the opening with ties to da 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 da. So this is very indie to the point where indie filmmakers have to get funding from a lot of different groups.
And they got funding from like 20 plus.
Yeah. And I think they're better set up for that overseas in Europe.
It is cheaper overseas overall, though, than filming here.
Yeah, because here, I don't know, it's more survival of the fittest over here.
And it made sense to do it in that
over there, you can actually get public funding, almost tax money.
But the setting of that location, because it's an Irish movie, it made sense that this story made sense in that setting, in that area, not here.
No.
It made more sense there. That's why it worked. But yeah, and also too, as I said, the funding's you get more funding, but it's not as expensive. And it looks like they spent more on the extras than on the other locations and sets. It was just get a lot of bodies.
Probably.
They got a lot of bodies.
They got a lot of people.
They filled up a hotel. They filled up a city. Filled up an airport and a mall. It worked. Yeah. And overall, this was a really great movie. You really need to see. Everyone needs to see this, but especially people who are in a relationship of any kind.
Yeah.
Boyfriend, girlfriend, long-term fiance, engaged, married.
It's very dry. It's one of the driest movies you'll ever watch.
It's drier than the popcorn.
Yeah.
It's really dry.
But in a good way.
It works.
It's dry. It's not dull.
No. It is entertaining.
There's a difference. Yeah.
It's a lot of dialogue, but it's so entertaining and funny, and you're just watching it, and it's just like this moments of just, oh god, it's just craziness. But yeah, go see this movie. It's phenomenal. It needs more recognition. This is how much it really deserves more recognition than what it's getting right now.
I will warn you, if you do see this movie in theaters, like, if you're listening to us that soon, if you do see this movie in theaters, keep a low profile. If you're used to like seeing blockbuster movies, calm down a bit, because you're going to be with some serious moviegoers. There's that lady in front of us. We were talking before the trailer. She turns around and tells us to shush.
And she ends up being one of the loudest, though.
I thought we were the loudest.
I said one of.
Okay.
Yeah, but you hopefully won't find too many of that, but it's a fun movie if you're able to find it. There's probably not that many showings around because it's very indie.
Find a big multiplex. Like, we live in Southern California, so we're more likely to find that sort of things because Hollywood is really close by. A lot of big movie companies are very close.
And we're
like within 2 hours of where we live.
We're on the coast.
Yeah, we're on the coast. So if you're living in like the Midwest or something, good luck. You're probably more likely to find a Pure Flix film.
Hopefully you find it because it's worth the trouble of finding and seeking out.
Yes.
So go see this. Just go see it. Thanks again for joining us. This wraps up for today's episode. Tom Flores.
I'm Travis Baker.
And this is combo number 2. Thank you for joining us once more. We'll catch you on the next time.
Bye.
Bye.